Hello everyone and welcome back to the San Francisco 49er franchise. This is your host, Husker Eurocat, and on tap for today is the preseason video. Now, I've added players to the roster for preseason to make a 90-man roster with a number of undrafted free agents in the mix. With the lack of depth and strength at even some of the starting positions, this team is ripe with opportunity for the young wannabes. Let's see how they fare. The first challenge for this young squad is in Kansas City to play the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. Brian Hoyer has received the nod over C.J. Beathard as the quarterback that will start this preseason, and his first play is a handoff to Carlos Hyde, and he gets a few. And now our first look at George Kittle, the rookie out of Iowa, coming up with a good catch for his first reception in this preseason. And there we had a catch from Marquise Goodwin. But as I stated in the introduction video, it's going to be very, very difficult for the 49ers to really have a solid offense because their O-line really is bad this season. That isn't going to stop us from trying really hard, but if you don't have an offensive line that can block for you, it is really going to be difficult. There, Brian Hoyer trying to show off some legs and throws way too deep. Smith is flushed out of the pocket, and he gets tackled by Malcolm Smith. You're going to find out through the course of this preseason that the defense is a little better than the offense, coming up with some pretty good stops at times. And here's Aldrick Robinson making the catch and speeding down the sideline for the San Francisco 49ers' first score of the preseason. You're going to find that through the course of this preseason, he and Marquise Goodwin are the real speedsters. And here's West with a nice off-tackle run, and Calvin Pryor saves the touchdown. Now it's Beathard's turn, and on his first attempt, he throws an interception to D. Ford, and that is not a way to impress anyone. Back to the speed of the wide receiver core, Lester Jordan, the undrafted free agent rookie. There is an interception by Duke Iheanacho. Wow, the defense seems to be really stepping it up out there, especially the starters. Once you get past the starters, you have a little bit of drop off. So as I said in the introduction video, the depth is really going to be an issue for the San Francisco 49ers. Here Beathard loads up and throws long, and it is caught by Aldrick Robinson for a nice, real nice gain. But then he comes back and he doesn't have the accuracy to hit Taylor over the middle. He has his moments like that completion to Marquise Goodwin, and here again to Goodwin over the middle. But his accuracy down the stretch, it really might become an issue for this Niners team. Back to Lester Jordan, if I can ever get a chance to finish that thought. He has some really good speed. It's just the rest, his catching ability and his awareness may become an issue as well. And here you get to witness the strength of the defensive line. Elvis Dumerville and DeForest Buckner being able to get through the line and eventually get to the quarterback. As I said in the introduction video, that defensive line is just awesome. Being able to have talent like Lynch, Dumerville, Armstead, Carradine, Thomas as a rookie, wow. And DeForest Buckner and Earl Mitchell on the defensive tackle side of things, that is really going to be hard for any of the undrafted rookies to be able to make the grade and make this squad. There's Niall Davis, and he has a touchdown around the right side. He really has the speed to make a difference around the side anyway. Time will tell if he can gain the strength to be an effective runner up the middle or not, but around the side he is dangerous. And here Pat Mahomes gets pressured, and he makes a bad throw on 4th down, pressured by DeForest Buckner, and that is really what we're going to need the defensive line to be able to do in the course of this season. And here is your first look at Matt Barkley out of USC, and he throws an interception to Phillip Gaines. Mahomes goes over the top to Demetrius Harris, and a stop by Jaquiski Tartt, saving the touchdown. But that will be a problem for the Niners this season because their defensive backfield is just not where it needs to be. And here's Niall Davis going again for another touchdown. This time as a kick returner. He had the benefit of having some really good blocking, but that hurdle over the defender was something to be seen and shows off the ability that he has to get the job done. And here you get to see the strength of Pat Mahomes and the awareness to hit Jehu Chesson down the stretch, and into the end zone goes Spencer Ware. The Chiefs go for 2, and Mahomes is sacked by Aaron Lynch. Barkley tries to throw it again, and it is picked off by Daniel Sorensen, and he goes the distance. Touchdown, Chiefs. Now it's just going to hand off to Raheem Mostert. But Raheem Mostert, he has some speed. Like I said in the introduction video, if that can be developed, he could possibly turn out to be a pretty good speed back. The rookie Akello Witherspoon can't make the stop on Tyreek Hill, and he scores for the Chiefs. I'm not sure why Tyreek Hill would still be in the game at this point, but regardless, Akello Witherspoon is going to have to be able to make those stops if he's going to graduate into being a starter on this team. Barkley makes a couple of nice throws over the middle, so it isn't all bad. And Paulson, he is really starting to impress me as a tight end. And here's a nice reception made by Victor Bolden Jr., the 6th wide receiver on the roster, and a touchdown to Logan Paulson. And the Niners were able to come away with the victory on that one. Our second game is at home against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are another team that have fallen off the pace just a bit since the retirement of Peyton Manning, so maybe the Niners have a shot at this one as well. Beathard in at quarterback, throws an interception to Darian Stewart. Not a good way to start out a football game. And here's our first look at Pita Tamapinu, left outside linebacker out of Utah, and we'll just call him Pita T for short. But he has been doing some impressing here in the preseason and in the practice sessions, making an outstanding little sack on Osweiler there. Carlos Hyde showing off a little burst of speed around the left side, having a nice gain. Beathard going long, and his accuracy is way off. But then he follows that up with a nice completion to George Kittle, and Marquise Goodwin catches the touchdown pass. And there's Pita T with another sack on Osweiler. He was a defensive end at Utah, but I don't know, he's making some nice plays at linebacker. And I think if I put him at defensive end, it's just there's so much talent in front of him. I don't know if he'd get a chance to play at all. And now we get to see Tarek Adams, the undrafted free agent out of Boston College, and he throws an incompletion. On a play-action pass, Osweiler loads up and throws deep to Andy Janovich, catching the defense off guard, and the stop made it the 30-yard line. by Kawan Williams. The cornerback position is probably the most suspect, and if the rookies can perform well enough, they may gain a spot on this roster. And you saw Akello Witherspoon miss an interception. A nice deflection, but he probably should have had that ball. And Logan Paulson coughs it up. That is the first fumble that I've seen from him, so that's not typical. Osweiler loads up and throws long, and it's broken up by Rashard Robinson. And on the next play, he lets Isaiah McKenzie get away and touchdown for the Broncos. Here Adams gets chased out of the pocket and a completion to Logan Paulson. That's probably one of Adams' best completions of the whole preseason. Throwing on the run is not an easy thing to do. Here he throws into a crowd, probably should have been intercepted. But here on this play, Adams throwing what seemed to be out of desperation, and it is intercepted by free safety William Parks, and he takes it the distance for another Broncos score. You just cannot do that and be successful at this game. His accuracy really comes into question as well, throwing it completely out of bounds intended for Niall Davis. And here we get to see our first look at undrafted inside linebacker Derek Justice with a nice stop in the backfield against C.J. Anderson. And here's our first look at undrafted halfback Tayshawn Jones. He's another one that has lots of speed. I don't know what his strength is going to be like, but he can certainly get around the edge fast. You've also been seeing undrafted quarterback Zach Thomas here making a nice connection with Niall Davis. Not a first down, but a nice pitch and catch. And Trent Taylor makes a first down grab in traffic. Now there's someone that if he can get his consistency under control, boy, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And you just saw Tayshawn Jones around the left side, speedy, getting into the end zone for a score. And there's an interception by backup cornerback Corey White, taking it back inside the 30-yard line. Thomas gives off to Tayshawn Jones, and he has nice room over the 20-yard line. Thomas connecting with Garrett Selleck and inside the 5-yard line, and Paulson punches it in for a 49er touchdown. Now, this will be Selleck's 6th season in the NFL, and he hasn't really become an outstanding tight end, but he does have the experience that I'm looking for. But I fear there's only going to be a couple of spots on the roster, and he's going to have to battle Logan Paulson for that tight end position. And against the undrafted, C.J. Anderson makes the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Thomas here throwing into a crowd, has it picked off, trying to make something happen at the end of the game, and down the 49ers go. Let's see if they can make a comeback against the Minnesota Vikings in U.S. Bank Stadium. Nice start by Mostert up the middle, and he gets a first down on the very first play. And Barkley throws an ill-advised pass and has it knocked away. Josh Huff with a nice reception, and he is one. Oh, and it's intercepted by Terrence Newman. Matt Barkley is down and injured. Back to Huff. If he can be developed a little bit more, he may turn into a really good receiver. He definitely has the speed, and there's Latavius Murray going in for a touchdown, the first of the day for the Vikings. But going back to Huff, he has the speed. I just don't know whether or not he has the size to keep him on track. And there, Tarek Adams is hurt as well. They're down to just Zach Thomas, and he throws it long and incomplete. He was definitely on target with that one, but Aldrick Robinson was just double covered. And Adam Thielen catches a nicely thrown ball by Teddy Bridgewater. And Murray around the left side and spins and in for the score. And that's my fear with some of these backups. They just don't have the experience to deal with someone like Latavius Murray. And Bourne has a nice return past the 40-yard line. And he is the hopes of the 49ers' return ability, as he has the speed to get around the side and be able to make a good play like he just did. Huff shows a little bit more catching ability, but he is down and hurt. And that, my friends, hurts just a little bit, because Huff is now out for 6 weeks with a dislocated elbow. Taylor and Bolden are really going to have to step up their game. And Thomas trying to get it to Paulson in the end zone is off the mark. P2T hurries Bridgewater into a bad throw and then makes a nice tackle on Kyle Rudolph. Floyd with a nice reception over Witherspoon and Peyton. And P2T makes a stop against Jerick McKinnon. Here's Santana Forbes getting the sack on Teddy Bridgewater. And he then throws into a crowd and it's knocked away by Keith Reeser. I'm finding that with some of these quarterbacks, the mobility just isn't there. So dropping back and throwing out of the pocket is more their forte. Sure puts a damper on my playing skills, because I like rolling out of the pocket, and finding that mobile quarterback is a plus for me. I'm really having to learn how to stay in the pocket a lot more these days. Thomas winds up and throws long for Bolden, and it's intercepted by Trey Wayne. Here Stephon Diggs shows off his catching ability with a long one to the 25-yard line against Akella Witherspoon. And then touchdown, Teddy throws one to Michael Floyd in the end zone. It just seems that some of these backups are having an awfully hard time against the first string of the Vikings. There's a nice pass breakup by Lewis Payton, and undrafted inside linebacker Derek Justice makes the stop on McKinnon. This secondary is certainly having their troubles defending any kind of passing attack, and that breeds success in the running game. And the stop inside the 5 is made twice by Xavier Cooper. And now we get a look at the speedy but unexperienced Lester Jordan. He has the size, he has the speed. I just don't know whether or not the 49ers have a quarterback that can actually get him the ball down the field. So for now, he might be a short yardage wide receiver, but he has the size to battle for the ball. A nice catch by Selleck, and inside the 5-yard line, Paulson punches it in to the end zone. And that was a nice hit by undrafted strong safety Oliver Nixon to dislodge that ball. And Curtis Diaz shows off a little speed, getting the sack on Bradford. The only problem with some of these undrafteds, not saying that they're not good, but they are really going to have to show some stuff in order to make the team because of the talent that's in front of them. And Dalvin Cook is left all alone, and it's touchdown Vikings. Now Adams is back in there after being hurt, and he is well off the mark. And he throws again, and well off the mark again to Tayshaun Jones. DJ Jones comes up with a big stop against Latavius Murray. What the heck is Latavius Murray still doing in the game? McKinnon with a nice long run, and it's touchdown Vikings to end the game at 44-10. And that brings up our last preseason game against the Los Angeles Chargers at home in Levi's Stadium. In his first pass, Tarek Adams throws an interception. Wow, what a way to start the game. Number 3, left outside linebacker Ray Armstrong makes a nice stop against, and that brings out rookie kicker Young Ho Koo from Georgia Southern to try a 60-yard field goal, and not even close. It seems that given enough time, Tarek Adams can make good throws and complete some passes, but just at times his accuracy is just absolutely atrocious, and he throws an interception. Desmond King gets this one and stops the San Francisco threat. And did you see that Adams was on the run, so his accuracy suffered at that point, but he also threw it into a bad situation. And Cardale Jones with a 30-yard laser to Keenan Allen for the touchdown. There's a reason why they called him 12 gauge in college at Ohio State. Adams' accuracy issues leads to a 3-and-out by the 49ers. And Jones back to pass again, and he cannot connect with anybody. So a punt upcoming. Bourne fumbles the football, and it is Charger football inside the 30. Like they need any help. Oliver with a trick play, touchdown to Hunter Henry. Now with Thomas and Mostert in the backfield, Mostert gets the ball and some tough running around the right side. Gets him the first down. Mostert is showing off some speed, some agility, and some toughness as he's running. It's going to be interesting to see what the progression is like after the preseason is over. Thomas on the run and throws, and it's almost intercepted. And here's Derek Justice with another outstanding stop on Brandon Oliver. Here Jones throws to Hunter Henry, and Adrian Colbert is just a step too slow. And then Brandon Oliver just powers his way into the end zone. Lewis Payton just doesn't have the power to make the stop. Thomas with a couple of nice receptions here, gets it down inside the 40-yard line. Back to pass again, and it's intercepted by Jenkins yet again. Just a little too long on that throw. Here again, the defense is just a step slow, with Witherspoon missing out on the interception. Newton Polk comes oh so close to making that one. And it's Peter T making the stop in the backfield against Austin Eckler. These backups and undrafteds are sure making some plays. It's going to be a tough decision when it comes to cut time. Ooh, Tayshawn Jones gets tagged by Tenny Pelapoy. Ooh, and he is injured. How significant will that be? Hunter Henry showing some good hands and strong running as Newton Polk chases him down and tackles him inside the 5. And finally, Eckler just powers his way into the end zone for the score. The backups with a tough time blocking, and Tayshawn Jones gets taken down in the backfield. Thomas is sacked, and things just aren't looking very good for the Niners. Clemens throws deep on this one, and Keenan Allen comes down with it in between two defenders. Eckler powering his way down inside the 10, and the defense just is starting to look gassed. And Travis Benjamin catches it for the touchdown over the top of Richard Robinson. Some of the rookies still trying to make a statement. Bolden makes a nice catch, and here again as well inside Charger territory. Thomas throws, and he is so far off the mark. That was uncharacteristic even for him to be that far off. On this one, cornerback Keith Reeser gets his hand in there to knock the ball away. Although Chicky Daniels almost makes the stop, Keenan Allen is able to snag that one at the 10-yard line. Derek Justice had another stop on Oliver, and 4th down and no touchdown for the Chargers. A rare appearance by Kendrick Bourne gets him the first down. Thomas gets hit, and instead of throwing to a wide open man downfield, he doesn't do it. And then Rayshon Jenkins collects his third interception of the game. And that brings our game to a close. The 49ers not even able to score on that one. Now it's time to pare our roster down to the league allowable 53-man roster. In order to do that, I need to make a lot of cuts, as well as put 10 players on the practice squad. Keep in mind that you have to be eligible for the practice squad to remain with the team. The first cut will be quarterback Tarek Adams. He just didn't have the arm strength nor the accuracy that I was looking for. Now Zach Thomas showed a little promise, and after waivers will be signed to the practice squad if he's still available. Halfback Matt Breida. I know the Niners signed him thinking that he was going to be something special, but he really didn't do anything to make me remember him in the preseason. The only thing that needed to be done with the wide receiver position is to make sure that Josh Huff is on the injured reserve list, which means that if I really need him, he'll be available for week number 8. Garrett Selleck is one of the vets to get a practice squad position. I just want to keep him and his experience available if needed. For the left tackle position, both Gerald Johnson and John Theus made improvement, but not enough to make an impression, and they'll be cut. At left guard, Cody Wickman and Zane Beatles won't be asked to remain with the team, and undrafted Fernando Siri will be asked back for the practice squad after clearing waivers. I noticed a few good blocks during the preseason, and maybe there's something there that can be developed. And we also have the release of Skip Teague. Center Kyle Nelson, after 6 years in the league, is only a 57 overall. Yeah, you just need to go. Now come the right guards, and last season's first round pick Joshua Garnett just isn't making the grade. And he's going to be released, as well as undrafted Caleb Johnson. Brandon Fusco is another vet that I want to keep in the wings, so he will be asked to remain for the practice squad. At right tackle, fourth-year man out of Penn State, Gary Gilliam, will not be joining us for the regular season. And undrafted Nazarius Peterson will be retained on the roster. On the defense side of the ball, at left end, undrafted Tiki Hansen will be released, as well as right end Santana Forbes. At defensive tackle, DJ Jones, although he showed a little promise, there's so much talent in front of him that I can't justify keeping him on the roster. Xavier Cooper, however, will be asked to remain on the practice squad if he doesn't get picked up by anyone else. Then comes the left outside linebacker position, and Dakota Watson, as well as Chicky Daniels, will be released, and Pita Tamopinu will be asked to remain on the practice squad. I feel that he could be an asset in the next year or so. He needs just a little bit of grooming. Middle linebacker Corey Heiss will not be asked to remain, as well as right outside linebackers Tom Malone and Curtis Diaz. Now, Ray Armstrong is a decent linebacker, and it would be nice to have his experience, so he'll be asked to remain on the practice squad. Now, at the cornerback spot, Dante Johnson and Josh Finley will be cut from the team, and a couple of rookies that showed some promise and will be asked to remain on the practice squad are Lorenzo Jerome and Adrian Colbert. Now, there were a number of free safeties as well as strong safeties in this preseason. It's a given that I can't keep them all. So at free safety, Newton Polk and Lionel Kane will be leaving us, and at strong safety, Harold Jones-Quartey, Lewis Payton, and Oliver Nixon will be released. Jaquiski Tart, assuming that he isn't picked up during the waiver process, will be asked to stay on for the practice squad. His experience, I think, would be an asset for the future. And there you have it, the 2017 53-man roster for the San Francisco 49ers. As you were able to see, C.J. Beathard has dropped off a bit behind Matt Barkley, but I hope that's because Matt didn't suffer through some of the ill effects of preseason the way C.J. did. I know that preseason is supposed to be a place to let your talent shine, but with the way the Niners were playing, it's just possible that didn't happen. We should find out in short order as the regular season gets underway. You'll see some of the rookies being utilized in starting roles. I just hope that they can grow fast enough and help this team out in a hurry. With the 2017 schedule, we have a date with the NFC East and the AFC South, and a couple of at-large teams in the Panthers and the Bears. This could be a test, as the first two games are with the Carolina Panthers and Seattle Seahawks, both of which are pretty good teams. And with the Rams' gains in the offseason and gaining in experience on their roster, we could have a number of tests right out of the gate. Our first game is at home, at least, when the Panthers come to town. On the offensive side of things, they've been decimated with injuries, especially to the O-line. They still have a strong offense, though, and one of the strongest defenses in the league. With talent like Peppers, Lutulele, Thompson, Kuechly, and Davis, the front seven would instill fear in any offensive coordinator. And if they don't, he obviously hasn't done any homework. Please keep in mind that if you enjoyed this video, leave a like so that others can enjoy it as well. And if you would like to be notified when there is a new one, subscribe by clicking on my icon at the end of the video. I can hardly wait to get this season going. Be with me when the Carolina Panthers come calling with a message of doom and gloom for the Niners. Until I see you in Levi Stadium for the season opener, this is Husker Eurocat saying so long for now, and have a good day, everyone.